I see another village in the distance, just as the sun is about to set. And so we're going to set down a bed, sleep away another night, and go see if that village has anything amazing for me. And as I do that, I can also talk about the next portion of the story. So I mentioned that with the original Minecraft Bingo beta version of the map from 6 months ago or whatever, Ant Venom played it, and simply as a result of that, the video where I introduce Minecraft Bingo ended up being the most watched video ever on my channel, with about 25,000 views, I think, or something, which was cool. And yeah, at the same time, like I said, had a lot of limitations. And all right, doesn't look like there's any blacksmith here, right? I'm not missing it. You can always tell because it has the slabs on the roof, and so that's the easiest way to see. Yeah, I'm not going to stand around and try to trade a bunch of emeralds with villagers. And so we'll just continue on and try to find the biomes that we're looking for. So yeah, Ant Venom had played the map, and so that made that video popular. Generic B, who you know is one of the player heads in the spawn room of this map, where I thank the people who helped me test the map, because he was one of the play testers. Generic B, on the original version of Minecraft Bingo, was like, man, it would be so great if you could get rid of the 2-player limitation, where you needed someone to have to stand at the center and hold the bingo card the entire time in order to get the map to update. And it'd be really great if you could have 2 players playing on the same map. And have it be like a multiplayer competition. And so I appreciated the fact that he had even, watched the video or whatever and then cared to comment on it. And so yeah, few months pass after the original release of the map. Actually, I think it was only like 3 weeks after Minecraft Bingo Beta was released when one of the Minecraft 1.7 snapshots added a bunch of new map colors. And so I saw that and I was like, darn it, if I'd waited a few more weeks, I wouldn't have had so much trouble with the pixel art because there were all these new colors that I could have used. But that's okay. It's always the case that if you wait a few more weeks, certain things are going to get easier. If you wait a few more weeks, that computer that you're going to buy is going to get cheaper. If you spend your whole life trying to wait a few more weeks for things to get better, you'll spend your whole life waiting and not any time actually doing things. And so can't feel too bad about that. But yeah, the colors got updated, and then later they added the command blocks, the things like the clone and the fill. And Ant Venom actually messaged me on Skype, and he was like, hey, with the new command blocks, I bet you could randomize the bingo cards. And I had seen the new snapshot come out as well, and I said, yep, I was thinking the same thing. But it had taken me, I don't remember like how many hours went into the first Minecraft Bingo map. The second one, this one that we're playing now, Minecraft Bingo version 2.0, probably took me, I spent most of 2 weeks basically working on the map, and then another week kind of like making videos about it and promoting it and different kind of things. And so it was kind of like 3 weeks out of my life where I was mostly kind of working full time on things related to the map in order to make this happen. And so it's a big investment in time. And so when Ant Venom originally said, hey, you could randomize the cards now, I was like, yeah, I could, but I was not willing to spend all the time to do it. And maybe it was sometime after that then Generic commented on the original video and said, man, if you could turn this into 2 players and get rid of these restrictions. And I think I replied to his comment, and I was like, yeah, if I could figure out how to do that, getting rid of the extra player to hold the map was the main thing that I hadn't figured out yet. And then at some point I started playing around with the command blocks, like I said, and started to learn a whole lot more and figured out the magic mirror technique that allows you to teleport and teleport back. It involves moving the spawn chunks around and all kinds of crazy esoteric Minecraft kind of stuff. All right, we've been traveling and traveling, and I haven't seen any sign of a jungle yet. But I hope I'm still facing west. Yes. Still just going to head directly to the west and hope that we happen to get lucky with biomes over time. So yeah, at some point I had figured out, basically, all of the techniques that I needed in order to try to make an updated version of the map that would have all of the great properties that this map that we're playing now has. And so I had kind of like figured them out in my head. And yeah, then started working on the map. And spent a bit of time in the planning stages, trying to figure out, with Minecraft, So I have a lot of experience doing computer programming because I worked as a software developer at Microsoft for 8 years or something before I quit and have been focusing more on YouTube. And so, yeah, I have a good sense of kind of like software and software development and modularity and planning and testing and stuff like that. Minecraft, nevertheless, even with command blocks, presents interesting challenges that you don't find in normal software development. I just want to quickly look at the map. Watermelon we can also find in the jungle. I still need to make sure I kill a skeleton for a bone, but that won't be too hard to do. The opportunity will arise. It's not a ravine. Yeah, had the experience doing software development, but programming with command blocks and Redstone and Minecraft is a little bit different because in addition to just trying to figure out the logic, the code that you're going to need, the things you need to test for, and the actions that need to happen when certain tests become true or false, you also have to deal with three-dimensional constraints because you kind of build the code in blocks and Redstone in a three-dimensional world. And so when you have a ton of commands and a ton of Redstone all going on, you really need to kind of plan out your strategy in terms of three-dimensional space because everything has to live in this chunk, in this region. It's actually 128 by 128 region where the map lives to kind of make things work. And with spawn chunks, the Redstone and command blocks could actually be spread out a little bit more. But definitely the map portion like had to live within this region. And so yeah, I started just kind of putting together, pen and paper, planning out. Oh dear, I'm kind of like trapping myself against a wall up here. Is there a way to get back over this hill? Here we go. Let me spend a moment to negotiate some Minecraft terrain. I'll bring you guys back in just a minute. I see another village over here. So this is a good time to bring you guys back in. And we can see, this looks like a big one. I see a blacksmith. I hear a spider somewhere underneath me in the roof forest. Don't really care about him. Don't care. And it looks like, is there a ravine here? I think there's a ravine here underneath this village. It doesn't look like it goes into an abandoned mine shaft. But let's be careful not to fall in that at least. Yeah, it's actually pretty dangerous. You guys built your village in a pretty dangerous spot. I do need a new iron sword, actually. Horse armor. If I ever find multiple saddles, I might actually use the horse armor. And the rest of my armor is doing fine, so I don't care about that. Let me drop off some inventory that I don't actually need to hold on to at this point. I don't need that. I don't need that. Got enough other food. And I may actually... yeah, make some arrows at some point if I end up making a bow. And, alright, let's carefully walk around here. I think possibly, like, there's even, like, villager trades that involve saddles and things, but again, I'm not going to stand around trading with villagers all day because I think that's not particularly interesting to watch on the screen. So yeah, I was talking about planning kind of like the three-dimensional space of how this map was going to work. And so I was just mapping out on a pen and paper kind of like all the different layers. Like there'd be one layer that had kind of all the pixel art templates and the redstone associated with them. The top layer, of course, has to be the map because the map just sees. Minecraft maps just kind of draw whatever terrain is kind of visible from the sky. And so that has to be where kind of like the top level of the map itself happens, and like the fill commands with the different colored of hardened stained clay for when you get your blocks and things like that. And then there were a couple other layers that are just related to redstone with the randomization of the card and the wind detection for when you get all the items. We've got some cows who have suffocated in some trees over here. Oh, right, and I still have a bed on me. It's actually sitting still in my inventory slot right here. And so let's get somewhere where we can sleep away the night. I don't think a torch matters, but I'll throw down the torch. And we'll go ahead and sleep away another night. Still at 19 items. But really, until I find a jungle or until I find one of these structures that would enable me to get a bunch of these other items, we're going to be a little hard up in terms of getting these last few items. They're going to be a doozy. So yeah, I planned out kind of the major structure. And then once I thought I had it planned out, I built one of the pixel art templates. The first thing I built actually was a diamond, and made sure that it looked good on the map. And then had a command to actually like clone it up into the top left-hand corner of where it would get displayed on the map that hooked up to the redstone associated with, all right, hold on, any abandoned mine shafts that might contain great loot. I don't see them. This ravine is definitely not going deep enough to get down to diamond layer or something. Hold on. Looks like there might be more of the ravine down here that goes even deeper. Let's just take a quick look. No. I think we're still going to be way above the diamond layer. So I'm not going to worry about going after a diamond just yet. I think on the way to finding a jungle, we might get lucky and find a diamond somewhere on the surface and not have to do any more caving. So yeah, planned out kind of all these different levels. There's a layer that does kind of like the randomization and the wind detection. And then the one thing that I didn't really plan out was the spawn room, which you may have seen is a big, somewhat ugly box that has a bunch of signs with instructions kind of all around and has a big wall that says go on one side and emerald blocks, which is where the go button is located to actually start the game. There is some plains over here, and so I'm going to take a quick left turn just to see if in this plains there might be another village, which might have some things that we need. And then we'll continue going back to the west and hope that I don't somehow just accidentally miss a jungle as a result of doing this. There's no point second guessing yourself. I really don't know how the terrain generator works in terms of which biomes get placed next to which other biomes to know if there's a certain kind of biome direction I should be going in order to find a jungle. I'll actually hit F3 if anyone wants to look at those screen coordinates and get like the seed in the midst or whatever and like see if I'm anywhere near a jungle right now. I see a forest fire over there, which is going to lag out my game. So let's avoid that. But it looks like we have a giant spruce forest over here. And I think I have a lot of food. But nevertheless, it probably couldn't hurt. Kill a few more pigs along the way. Oh, speaking of finding another village, I'm pretty sure this is not the same village that we just came from. It could be. It might be. Is this the same village I just came from? I think this is the same village. I think I just went in a circle. I'm pretty sure it is now. But I have to look. Let's see. Where was the blacksmith? No, is this a different village? Does this not have a blacksmith? I think this actually is a different village. Holy cow. Yeah, there's not a big crack going through it. There's not a big ravine going through it. All right, so we found another village. It does not have a blacksmith. Great. Actually, not that great, but what you gonna do? And I hear zombies, but I imagine they're just, well, how many zombies do I hear? I hear at least one. If I happen to hear multiple zombies and there's a possibility of a zombie dungeon, I don't have a sense of if there's just, you know, villagers around and that makes the zombies more likely to spawn. Is there any obvious sense of a zombie dungeon in here? I don't think so. I only hear the two zombies. Alright, I just want to make sure I wasn't missing a zombie dungeon right below the surface because dungeons contain a lot of good loot that we still need. Let's go ahead and continue on. So yes, I was saying I did not plan out the spawn room. And so basically, yeah, I kind of like built the first thing. I built the diamond and tested it, and then built whatever the second item I made was and tested it, and tested the two of them working together. And then, yeah, each pixel art, I don't know, takes me like a half an hour to go and draw and kind of like build in the map, and then copy over some redstone, and then actually like add the commands that actually clear that item out of your inventory and test for it in your inventory, and then kind of like hook it up to the rest of the system. And yeah, test it again to make sure it's all working. And of course, this testing is just, you know, happening in creative mode, and I'm just giving myself the items. And yeah, I had the magic mirror, and so that was also one of the first things I did, basically to make sure that I could spread myself somewhere else and then use the magic mirror. And in the original version, I hadn't come up with the idea of dropping the map on the ground as a way to detect that the player wanted to update the map. And so instead, there was like a timer going, and if you were holding the map, if you were staring at the map for like, I think it waited, if you were staring at the map for 10 seconds or 15 seconds straight or something, then it would teleport you back to spawn in order to update the map. And that was a very annoying mechanic because A, it took like 10 or 15 seconds to activate when you wanted to do it, and B, it would activate when you didn't want it to happen because you'd just be like studying the map, trying to figure out what item you wanted to go after next, and then all of a sudden you'd get teleported back to spawn. And so, yeah, I could not come up with a better way to detect that the player wanted to do a map update for a long time. And so fortunately, lots of other things kind of like held up any progression of the map. Okay, we have a major choice here. Should I sail across the ocean to try to find a jungle? Or should I go across the coastline? And I think I'm just going to continue heading west and sail right across the ocean. Because, thanks to the magic of editing, you guys don't have to watch it. And so I'm going to sail across the ocean and hope that I get lucky. And I'll see you guys when I see you. Yeah, I still got a boat over here. Let's hope the boat doesn't break in the middle of the ocean. Just as the sun is setting, I appear to have found... I had a bed here. There we go. Crazy Minecraft. I appear to have found a new continent. And I saw a tree in the distance, but I think it might have been a savanna tree as opposed to a jungle tree. Yeah, well, I like the look of this terrain. Sadly, it's not the thing that I'm looking for. But, oh yeah, that's got to be like that Savannah M Plateau something, something, something. I don't remember the names of all these biomes. But this is one of the biomes that looks the coolest, in my opinion. And it also seems to be like next to a tiny little flower forest or something over here. We got tulips. Tulips by the dozen. So that's kind of cool. I've completely lost track of where I was in my story. And in any case, I'm just giving you guys the update of where I am. I'm going to continue to cross some more Minecraft terrain and remember where I was, and I'll see you guys in a moment. I hear a number of zombies and bad guys down here. And so just in case I happen to get really lucky, and there's actually a dungeon, I want to take a quick peek down here. I can see our friends. Hey guys, how you doing? They're all gonna come find me now. Alright, there they are. There's a skeleton who I still need to kill in order to get... Oh, I should have filled up my food before I started fighting all these guys. Well, thank goodness I have armor. There we go, there's my bone. Hooray, it's been a while since we've gotten an item. Get some more food on the bar. And yeah, sadly, no more zombies coming this way. Alright, there was not a dungeon down here. Just happened to be some monsters who happened to spawn. Oh well, I took my shot. That's what we do. Here in Minecraft, you gotta take your shots. You gotta pick your spots. I believe this is still the west. Yes, and so I will continue heading this way. We seem to have found another desert, which could be good or bad. But I thought of the other things I need to tell to continue with the story, and so let's do that. So, I was talking about the fact that... Is that a desert temple? No, it's just some kind of ridge over here in the desert. Really got to keep your eyes peeled in the desert, I think. Was there a UHC that... Minecraft UHC where Good ended up walking right over the top of a desert temple that was like buried inside of a mountain and he didn't see the desert temple there or something? I could be making that up. I feel like that's happened before. Maybe it was me. Maybe it wasn't Good. Maybe I should be careful who I blame for being bad at Minecraft before I do so. Oh my goodness. What was I saying? That's right, Minecraft Bingo Origins. So, I did not plan the spawn room very well. It turns out that at the beginning of the game, like I kind of planned out, you know, how to do the map and how to do the updating and all those kinds of like hard technical problems. Didn't really think at all about the beginning of the game, and ooh, there's another biome over there. I think I'm gonna head in that direction because is that a swamp? But I want to head through more of the desert quickly first to see if we might find a desert temple. Yeah, I'd focused on kind of like what I thought were going to be the difficult technical parts and was kind of ignoring other things. Like at the beginning of the game, you need to press a button to start the game, and a bunch of things need to happen. You want to put all the players in survival mode. You need to make sure that after the players get spread that they have all of their health and their hunger filled up. And you need to actually give feedback because when the players do get spread and the terrain generator kicks in, it takes a number of seconds before the game is ready to start and things are ready to go. This is a big desert over here. Yeah, I'm going to keep going across it, actually. And so you need to keep the players informed in the chat or somehow that progress is actually happening. At the same time, you want them not to start and go before the game is ready to go, and so I gave them a slowness effect. There were all these little things. After you play a game, you need to have a way to clear the board and clear the scores, and possibly have players switch teams if they had a spectator and now the spectator wants to join the game or whatever. Yeah, all of these things that as I started doing playtesting with different folks, I discovered many usability issues, as well as a chief usability issue that I already mentioned, which was the ugliness that I had it that in order to trigger the map update, you needed to just stare at the map for like 15 seconds or something. And I don't remember what it was that made me think of the fact that I could actually detect maps on the ground, and so I could use the drop key, Q by default, in order to detect when players were pressing a button while they're holding the map, and that I could give them a stack of maps and that everything would work out. At some point, I had that epiphany during the play testing that there was a much better control scheme in order to say, hey, I want to update the map, teleport me briefly to spawn. And when I did that, the map got so much better after that. But along the way, I was making all these little incremental updates and improvements as I discovered weaknesses of the overall map usability. But as a result, the command blocks in Redstone that are just outside the spawn room are just a mess. They just kind of go everywhere because I didn't plan it out beforehand. And so I definitely learned a lot about that. And so if I ever make another map or update this one, I've learned a lot about thinking through the usability of what is the interface that people will use to actually start and end and complete the map and different things, and plan out that portion because I planned out all the other portions and didn't plan that one out. All right, we've managed to find another village. So villages can generate inside the savanna biome, which I don't remember if I knew that before. So if you didn't know that, now you do. B, oh, this guy does have a blacksmith. So let's go ahead and grab that. Fresh iron pick, yes please. Fresh sword, why not? Apples, food could actually become an issue over time here. I will grab those things. I grabbed everything I need, right? I can also drop off things I don't need. I prefer to have a bunch of food that stacks as opposed to little bits that don't. I'm not going to use the leather for anything. Yeah, I'm happy enough with the rest of my inventory for right now. And I still have the 2 wheat on me if we eventually are going to craft a cookie. All right, and there's more desert over here. Am I facing west? I've lost track again. Yes, I'm still facing west. So let's still keep heading this way. So the spawn room was kind of the last thing that I did. And originally I just had buttons on the floor and there wasn't even a ceiling or walls. And my different playtesters pointed out how ugly it was. And so I finally at least, made the walls and put some info and added some signs. Hey, here's another village. All right, we appear to have found Village Central. I wouldn't mind if there was also Dungeon Central or Desert Pyramid Central. That would really help me out a bit. But I guess let's not look a gift horse in the mouth. Is this a gift horse? Is there a blacksmith here? I don't actually see a blacksmith in this particular village. Yeah, looks like that one's going to be a bust. So I think we'll leave that one behind as well. There are probably some people who are frustrated and wish that I would trade with the villagers, but like I said, villager trading has just never been a mechanic that interested me at all. And so I really don't like to do it. We got our 1 emerald. I don't feel like standing around trying to do a bunch of trades to get other things. Let's see. So I talked about those aspects of finishing up the map. Yeah, I have no idea how long I'm going to have to travel for until I find another jungle biome or one of the other structures that I'm looking for. So I think it's time for me to make another cut here. I'll see you guys when I see you.